Om Sri Sai Ram. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Om Sri Sai Ram. In his book, The 16 Spiritual Summers, Mr. Indulal Shah has mentioned one incident which I'll try to recollect as much as possible. It seems that with Swami's permission, once he got some big industrialists from Mumbai to have audience with Swami in Whitefield. Swami was in Vrindavan, Whitefield. This is, according to him, it was before Trai Vrindavan was inaugurated, the old mandir. So these top industrialists, they came by the last flight from Mumbai. They stayed in Bangalore in their hotels, and then early morning they were ushered in Swami's house, the old mandir, because they had again to leave for their work by the first flight. So as a special gesture, Swami had permitted Indulal Shah, so he brought them to Whitefield for audience. So as they were sitting outside Swami's room, Swami appeared in his majestic, beautiful form. Everybody was naturally, one darshan of Swami is enough to change even Ravana. He had that enchanting smile and can't describe. Anyways, so they were of course very much happy. Swami went around silently. Everybody was silent early in the morning. In small room of Swami, everybody was sitting. Then Swami, yes, so you had your comfortable stay in your hotels, good food, everything. Like a mother, first he will inquire for that, whether you had your dinner properly or not. He all said, yes, Swami, very comfortable. Arrangements were very nice, very happy. But you had to get up early morning. Very difficult, isn't it? So they smiled, they just laughed. No, Swami, it's okay. Especially after drinks, Swami indicated, it is difficult to get up early morning, isn't it? Now Mr. Indulal Shah in his mind was thinking that I got these people to Swami to get some spiritual enlightenment, and this God is talking about, but Swami never does anything without purpose. They said, no, Swami, we didn't have anything yesterday because we were supposed to get up early and come to you, so we slipped off early and got up early and came. It is no problem, I understand, Swami said, because the entire day you have to face so much stress, so many problems you have to solve. It is a big, huge responsibility to take care of your big business and big companies. So naturally, if you take at home, no problem. But the real problem arises when you invite others for parties and throw big parties and make everybody drink, and you also your families also. That is not good. Now the Indulal Shah was getting nervous, according to him. And what is Swami talking about? This is how divinity works. When in my interview on 20th of December 1990, the first question Swami is asking, how much is your property worth? I was not prepared for this question. I said, I calculated like my Sindhi businessman something, some figure. I said, Swami, after clearing everything, I would be saving this much. No. This is too less. Bahut rate badega, prices will rise. Don't sell anything now. I said, Swami, but you have given admission to my son. You have promised you will give admission to my daughter next year. We are both going to be with you in your ashram doing your seva for the rest of our lives. And this much is more than enough for us. No. Don't sell any property. You will not sell any properties. You will not go leave this place without my permission. I said, again I insisted. I said, Swami, why do I need big money? Then he got little in strong words. Buddhi ledu, you don't have brains. If you don't need, your son will need. Shut up. Look at this God. The devotee is ready to renounce everything. And this God is insisting that you will not sell your property because the rates will rise. And you will get big money. Same way, Swami is talking early morning. These industrialists have come from Mumbai to get spiritual enlightenment, and this God is talking about, but it has purpose. Then one gentleman amongst that group, small group, he said, Swami, if you please permit, can I ask? He said, yes, please ask. Swami, if we don't give parties to our clients, to government officials regularly, then we'll be out of our business, Swami. That is need of our business. He was putting forward his views as humbly as he could. Swami says, perfectly all right. If you believe that giving parties is the way to maintain your clients and maintain your relationship with government officials, it is perfectly all right to give these parties. But then Swami raised his voice of God. If you truly believe that your business is being run by the grace of God, then you should not do it. Now everybody got the message. God always gives us options. But He wants us to be honest, sincere, and truthful in our choice, in our action, in our reaction. Never try to play double game with God. He says, don't play even musical chair with God. You should be straight. If you believe that you are doing business can prosper by giving parties to your clients, to government officials, by bribing them, go ahead. Manchidi, no issues. Then of course you will have to face the consequences. You can't blame anybody else on that. But if you truly believe, as most of us say, if you ask any person who is even little devotee of any god, and especially Swami, how is everything, sir? How is your business going on? His grace, everything is fine. Swami's grace. Once this thought came to me, when I visited Ulhasnagar with Swami's permission after 7 years to sort out our some family property issues with his grace. Whomsoever I meet, my old friends, all rich businessmen, how is everything with you, brother? They would say, Harish, Swami has blessed us like anything. Today I am having 4 shops. Before I had only 1. Somebody will say, I got promotion. Everybody would calculate Swami's grace in terms of the enhancement or prosperity of their business in cash, in properties, wealth accumulation. That was the bar calculating, the basic calculation done. This is Swami's grace. Suddenly a thought came to me that if this is Swami's grace, God's grace, I believe Swami to be God, the Supreme God. No one beyond Him. Question does not arise. Even if there is some other God taking care of all the creation, Swami is His Father. So, coming to the point, then I thought, then Ravana was the most blessed. If adding to our wealth is calculated as grace of God, then Ravana was the most blessed. Then Shabri was the least blessed. Meera was the least blessed because she had to leave her palace and live in temples, outside the temples. Buddha was least blessed because he had to leave his kingdom and do sadhana in forests. Mother Sita was the least blessed because being daughter of King Janaka and daughter-in-law of King Dashratha, wife of Sri Rama of Ayodhya, she had to exile to the forest not once but twice. She lost all her wealth, everything. She never in fact enjoyed it. Do we count blessings just because some wealth or some money is added by our visits to this temple or this God? If that is the criteria of counting his blessings, then I repeat, Ravana was the most blessed. Kamsa was the most blessed. Duryodhana was the most blessed. Let us think. So coming to the point, when Swami said, if you drink privately in your house in presence of your family, 1 or 2 just to get some relief or some release from the stress that you have, which you normally have, it's okay. But giving parties to other, indulging in all things, because when you are giving party, there are so many added things there. Swami said you start with a subject, end with an object. So many evils will come. One bad habit can destroy the entire character of man's life. And one good habit can save him from total downfall. Some other time I will narrate those 2 stories narrated by Swami as Chittakathas. So after reading this book, when I was reading this book, I was in my Thakur Niwas. I was reading just with my stretched body, with pillows at the back on my bed in my bedroom. As soon as I read this, I put the book down, opened my cupboard. I had bought on that day 2 champagne bottles. I had stopped drinking from day 1 when I saw Swami. Voluntarily, after my first interview, I had promised Swami, I will not do anything which may displease you even remotely. When I say I am the prince, I will not do anything. Go to hotels and parties and dance and do all that. That is below my dignity of your prince. But as a government contractor, I never bribed anybody. I used to go directly to the house of Chief Engineer of Maharashtra, PWD, R.T. Atre, Ramchandra Atre. No contractor dare do that. Go there and even sit with him, talk to him on Swami. Wherever I go, be it Prime Minister, Governor, President or Chief Minister, I visited everybody. But my talk is only on Swami. And he will sign my check without taking a cup of tea from me. On the contrary, he will provide me with tea and snacks and breakfast many times. His family would sit. So once during Deepavali, in our business community, there is this custom that during Deepavali we give some gifts to our clients, to officers. That we have seen right from childhood in our house. So I used to take some gifts for every officer. Now Mrs. Atre, she tells me, brother, this time for Diwali, can I ask a small gift of my choice from you, which I think only you can provide? I said, madam, if it is my privilege, please tell me. She said, don't call me madam. You are my brother, so I am making this request. I want to test the champion. Those days, markets were not open. It was very difficult to get imported champions or wine freely in the market. She said, I know you're from film industry and you could manage it. If you can, I'll be very happy and thankful. I want to test it. I said, no issues. I will ask. I don't have any clue, but I'll ask my uncle. I think he should be able to do it. So I had purchased 2 bottles of pure imported champagne and kept it to give it to her as Diwali gift. I thought, I am not drinking but just giving, that's all. But after reading this, here Swami is saying, if you drink privately in your house, it's okay. But to offer wine to others, you are spoiling somebody else's character and health. You are indulging in something which is unacceptable to Swami. If you believe that your business is being run by the grace of God, if you believe that by giving these gifts or giving parties to your clients or government officials, your business will prosper, then Manchidi, do it. He gives us options. We cannot ride on 2 horses. I took the bottles. You will not believe, my dear brothers and sisters. I went to the balcony and threw both the bottles down. There was a big sound, drum, and my wife, everybody, what happened? I said, this is what happened. My wife said, at least you could have saved it for somebody else. Say, you want me to, if I had to give to somebody else, then why not give to the person who is asking me? I am not going to be party to it. And I am not going to return it also to anybody. I am not going to involve myself in this at all. And Swami, I remembered, I told somebody asked Swami, how to break habits. Swami took a glass and he just did like this. The glass fell down and it broke. Swami says, as simple as that. If you want to break a habit, just leave it. It will break. This is the way to deal with divinity. This is the way to attract His grace, His attention. Straight. If you believe that He is omnipresent, if you believe His form is immortal, if you believe that He is always with us, if we believe that He can come and go anytime He decides, who can stop Him? Who can question Him? But like Shabri, I had mentioned, we should not ask, when will Swami come? It is enough to know from our hearts that he is coming. He has come already. Shabri did not ask the Rishi Munis when they told her Rama is going to pass through this pathway. One day, Lord Vishnu will come as Rama and he will bless you. What she did? She did not question, when will he come? Will I be alive to see it? Will he actually come? Is it possible for Lord to come to this forest in poor woman's hermitage? No questions. Shraddha and Sabri. And what was her reaction to it? From that day onwards, every day she would clean the entire pathway, expecting Rama to come any moment, any day. Love my uncertainty. This is the true meaning of loving, is uncertainty. He can come any moment. Are we ready to receive him? And she would pluck the fruit, taste it, and keep the fresh and sweet ones in basket for him. Every day, for years. That is the way to attract divinity. Sadhus prayed and I have come. That is the way Ahilya did when she was told by her husband that I have cursed you to be stoned, but now after knowing the truth, I repent and I bless you. Though I cannot take back the curse, I have no powers. We should not do anything which we cannot take back. But this is the mistake. The powerful do. But he said, Rama will come and put his foot on you and you will be blessed to evolve yourself from stone to human. That is transformation and upliftment of dog mind, stone mind to God mind. That is the inner meaning. She also did not question when. She prayed silently. So we have this option, either pray silently like Ahalya, or if we are stones, if we are on tamas, but if we are sattvic like Shabri, then we must keep our hearts and minds pure enough every day. That is what Swami declared in Dharmakshetra 1968. I will achieve what I have to achieve single-handedly. You should only keep your hearts and minds pure enough to witness my glory. Krishna raised one hill, one mountain, Govardhan. This Satya Sai will raise the range of mountains. Those who doubt will have to break their heads on the stones of Puttaparthi. Their blood stains will be seen. Jai Sai Ram.